Hi, we're on day 8 today, which is Yellow Galactic Human. And this is a video that incorporates Samhain, which was the day before, which was Blue Resonant Monkey. And due to the nature of the day and my activities and stuff coming up for me at the moment, I didn't feel to make a video. So I'm making it today. I'm doing the 2 days today. So each one of the key days in the Gregorian calendar that we have links into a spiral in the Mayan framework. And so again, I just woke up with this intuitively today, and after having done a lot of tapping on stuff that's coming up for me over the past couple of days, because this is a very, very key time for the planet, these key gateways of Samhain, which is all about the ancestors and the ancestral patterning and being able to connect to that and understand it. And the fact that it's Scorpio, it's all about deep intimacy. And this was the spiral last year that we were in. The 260-day spiral began on the 26th of October. So just to go over the Samhain first. So the 31st of October is in the spiral. It's the red dragon spiral again. And once you start to trace this back, so this year it was Blue Resonant Monkey, what's resonating with our child self, where we're not transparent, or we've still got wounding, where we're still getting emotional triggers. That's year 7, because it's resonant is the 7th tone. So to trace that back, we go into the decoder and we look at when Red Dragon began, Red Magnetic Dragon, and that was in 2013. So again, what you were doing in 2013 is really key, because you were initiating a 13-year cycle with your ancestors, with Samhain, and so that information is really valuable. Where were you? What were you doing? And how was that initiating something for you? And Red Dragon is all about what the Great Mother is bringing us. It's the very first Mayan sign. In the start of the spiral, it is also a portal day of human evolution. So again, this process is all about how we're aligning with emotional evolution and new code. And often it's very painful for the inner child, because we're having to revisit old processes over and over again, so we get clear of them, so we understand how they have come to be and how they are hurtful for us as human beings, and then we are able to start to process on a deeper level. So going beyond the awakening. All the red signs are about awakening. So again, another way that you can use these spirals is, if you're a red dragon, if you're a white world bridger, if you're a blue monkey, or if you're a yellow warrior, and whatever vibration, whatever tone of those you are, then this will be particularly key for you, because this is one of your tribe, this is one of your tribal codes, this is one of your creation codes. And so this is, again, knowing what your code is, knowing what your pattern is, and understanding it. If it's not one of yours, so like for example, I'm a blue hand, so my tribe is red earth, white wind, blue hand, and yellow human. And today, yellow galactic human is one of my key days. Then all of my red years, all of my red spiral of red earth really connects to whenever we're in a red dragon process. And when you combine these two together, so you add them together, so you've got red dragon, which is number 1, and you've got red earth, which is number 17. You add them together and you have got 18, which is white mirror. And white mirror is the conscious dreamer code. So again, you can add the numbers together and you can take it further into another spiral. It's just amazingly complex, but this gives you great clarity on exactly what you're working with. So every time I'm in a red dragon energy, I'm connecting to the aspects in my family who are part of the conscious dreamer tribe. And so again, the conscious dreamer tribe is red skywalker, that's my grandmother. White mirror, that's my father and my uncle. Blue night, I don't have any family members in blue night, but I have several friends that are blue nights. And yellow star, again, I don't have any family members, but I have friends who are in yellow star. So another way that you can use this process is you can start to work out your family constellation, your family patterns, and their Mayan signs, and your friends, people who are showing up in your life right now. So for me, I often do that with my clients as well. So I know what archetypal energy I'm working with and what pattern and what code, and how we can both help each other get really clear about this and clear the process, particularly when you're using emotional freedom technique as a therapist. When you're working with somebody else, you're not only helping them clear their code, but you're clearing your own, because we've all got the same stuff going on, and the people that you attract into your life reflect you. Again, white mirror. So this is why it's so amazing and why I love sharing it. It's so powerful and it works on so many different levels. And this is the whole thing about the prophecy now, is about realizing just how amazing it is. So another way that you can really work with these spirals is to look back in your diary about what happens to you around this time and record it in your book of shadows. So record key events, because the whole purpose of this is to bring things to conscious awareness around relationship. You know, we're in the red serpents at this time, and it's all about relationship. It's mastery of relationship. It's understanding how the relationship chakras are the base chakra and the sacral chakra. And wherever we've had issues around those areas in our body, they connect to where we're not feeling grounded, or where we're seeking to ground ourselves through other people, through sex, through relationship, in a very codependent way, in a survival way, and how to go beyond this, to raise the energy up to the heart chakra level, so that we open this gateway and we clear what we're holding on to. And that way our energy really starts to flow and our gateways open more and more. And our energy body, which is electric, you know, is everything is then moving and shifting, and we're coming into alignment. We're coming online, if you like, with the cosmic code. And the cosmic code is taking us into alignment with truth. We cannot have intimacy, we cannot feel safe if we cannot be in truth with people. We cannot be in truth with ourselves, we cannot be in truth with others. If we've learned coping mechanisms and masks around hiding ourselves, around feeling unable to speak the truth because of the consequences, usually because of emotional reaction, because we're going to lose something that is fundamental to our survival, such as a job, such as a house. And, you know, all this repression of all of these things has been going on for years and years and years, thousands of years. And we are now seeing the embodiment of where we're at with that. So this time of year, there is the Scorpio and Taurus axis. We've got a Taurus full moon coming up. And this is also the Buddha axis as well. So this is really key because it is all about coming into balance with the material, and that we're here in this life as a human being, and that we're also a spiritual being. So we're here to do our spiritual path, which often takes us into places that we don't want to go as a human being. It takes us into places where we are forging new paths, where we have to leave old paths. Again, Yellow Human is all about the Philosopher's Stone. So as we integrate our human being experiences, we then allow the Kundalini to flow. I have Yellow Human as my yellow castle, and so this is a key year for me that's coming up today. Yellow Galactic Human for me is when I was 25 in 1990. And I've just been looking back over the past few years as to what I was doing around Halloween and all my intimacy issues coming up. So again, this is a way that you can use it to become really consciously aware. And a great thing about this, a Brucey bonus, if you like, is that you start to be prepared for it, because it is going to happen. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear about the dark stuff. They don't want to hear about things that are going to cause them emotional stirrings, if you like, that's going to bring things up. People find it difficult to express certain emotions, are afraid, but in order to master them, we have to do this. We have to go through this process, this painful rebirthing process of coming into authenticity. We have to be able to be heard where we're at. And the more that we learn how to do that and be emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent, and then, you know, all part of that process, emotionally free as well. Often we don't tell the truth because we're afraid of the consequences. And often we carry on with things because we don't have any solutions at that time. We think, that's the devil that we know. And, you know, is that true? Because again, we're just going to get more of the same outcome unless what we're doing is with people who are conscious and who are aware that they're wounded and who are actively working on their stuff. And I get asked this a lot by women in relationship who are in relationship with people who aren't conscious and aren't working on themselves emotionally and aren't healing. And all I can say to you is, in my experience, if somebody is not doing this work now, then they are in for a rude awakening at some point, and their behaviour is still very much unconscious. And so it's just what goes with that. I know that is often hard to hear, but again, once you start to really look deeply into your patterns around wounding, over the past couple of days, a repeating pattern has been coming up for me around wounding. And again, I'm going deeper and deeper. And the gift then, when you go deeper and you feel that emotion and you speak your truth, even though you're really afraid to do that, because you're afraid, usually you're afraid of losing that person's love, losing the friendship. Often it's hard to let go of old friends, relatives, because you love them. And that really hurts, you know, to do that. But if they won't listen to you, if they're carrying on with abusive behaviour, if they're carrying on with things that really hurt them or hurt you, hurt other people, then nothing's going to change unless they decide to change. And a lot of our coping mechanisms as human beings have developed to try and manage these situations, of course, you know, to try and manage living with somebody who's got mental illness. Often it's, you know, today still people aren't aware that we've all got mental illness. You know, it's still a stigma. Of course we've got mental illness when we've had generations and generations of people who we live with who are caretaking us and bringing us up and sharing frameworks that they think are okay, which are not okay. Most of the frameworks of human relationship on the planet at the moment are not okay. They come from an extremely flawed place, narcissistic, and not looking at emotional stuff, not knowing what to do about things. You know, putting an emphasis on money is the most important thing because it will keep us from the wolf. Yes, it will in some ways. You know, it'll keep you in a house, it'll keep you off the street, it'll keep you in a situation where you're not being your true self, where you're not being who you really are. And there's a high price to pay for that, not only for each one of us, but for all of us. There's a high price. So again, people are where they are, and it's acceptance of that. It is not acceptance of abusive behaviour, though. It's not acceptance of being scapegoated either, you know, being scapegoated as the truth teller. While people are in denial, they don't want to hear your truth, they don't want to change, they don't want to align with the new cosmic codes coming in. The body doesn't lie though, and so, you know, where we've got stuff going on in our body reveals everything. I had a big experience when I was 22, and often when people have big experiences early on in life, that wakes them up quicker. So at that time I had mental health issues, I had physical health issues, and that began my process. And today I've really been going deeper on that and realizing that, you know, one of my main ancestral patterns is that with women is that women in my family line, in my maternal line, have been betrayed, have been let down, have felt unsupported, have taken their own lives because of that, have died because of that, because they've had too many children and their bodies can't support it. They've been exhausted, they've got really ill mentally as well, and decided that, you know, they didn't feel loved. And this is really resonating for me, and I can see it in a different way. So, you know, part of that conditioning is that it feels like the comfort zone, it feels normal, it feels natural to keep being in those relationships, but it's anything but natural and normal. You know, it's just what we've got used to. You can get used to anything. You know, people have lived in concentration camps and got used to it. And again, on a survival level, they had to get used to it. So that's not that long ago, where generations of people survived those extreme conditions. And even outside of the concentration camps, just look what was happening all over the world then around how people had to cope, had to survive. This is what we're working at. This is what we're integrating as human beings. So we've gone in lots of different places as human beings on a personal level as well. We've developed some really amazing survival methods, some great wisdom. And the more that you tap and release, follow the cookie trail of the emotional triggers, you see where the code has been corrupted and gone out of alignment with truth. You see, if you're feeling something is off, trust that. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling angry about something, trust that. And what I recommend that you do from personal experience is you learn how to use tapping, you go into that, you release the emotion, and you see where it came from. And you understand what you're dealing with in this lifetime to end this in your human being family. Most of us who are connecting now, watching, if you're watching this video, if you're doing these sorts of practices, if you're waking up, if you're healing, you know what I'm talking about. And the most important thing is your own personal healing, because getting clear about this and becoming emotionally resilient and bringing in new frameworks of truth in your relationships, that is the key to set you free and set everyone else free, because we're creating new models now. So as I'm making this video, the moon is waxing in Capricorn, and I'm just going to read that to you inside degrees again, aquaorfire.net. Capricorn 4, footprints in the snow. You're following your own footsteps. In the last previous lifetime, you set into motion a very full karmic momentum, which only got to midstream. This time, you first recapitulate the previous patterns and then set out where they lead. All of it, every step feels fated, inevitable. It is an uncannily strong inward impression. Yet in order to permit the soul of this lifetime some measure of autonomy and freedom, this knowledge is held in the superconscious mind, and you can then cast about as though nothing had happened before, except that the inward instincts direct you in a predetermined course, and the lessons and the scenes are so very familiar. When individual karma is this strong, the truth is that you must go through what you have set yourself to take on, and inwardly you know it, while outwardly you tread lightly, whistling in the dark, hoping that heavy feeling does not mean what you know it means, for better and for worse. Follow the cookie trail, follow the feeling, go where it really means. And this is the way to set ourselves free. We've got to go there. We've got to do this. We have to face our own demons. And we have full cosmic support right now. So lots of love to you on your journey around relationship and integrating your human being self. If you want any more info about these frameworks, please get in touch. flowwithjo.com. All the info's on there. Bye for now.